Here it is, the groove. Slightly transformed, just a little break from the norm. Okay, this is the video that you have all been waiting for, or not at all, because you just don't care, which is fine. But this is the video about why I am no longer a cop. All right, everybody, Mike the cop. Mike was the cop, Mike not the cop. Whatever, I'm keeping the name, I earned it. Damn it. Last week, I announced with a photo that I had turned in my gear and I'm no longer an active law enforcement officer. Of course, social media is a weird thing because not everybody's going to see that or know or understand the details of that. Same thing with this video, really, at the end of the day. So I'm trying to get the word out there, keep everything, keep you guys informed, all that good stuff. So this video is going to be the definitive video for why in this moment I am no longer an active law enforcement officer, clearing up some misconceptions about why that's the case, and finally, I am going to talk about the future a little bit. So stick with me here. I'm trying to make it as fast as possible. I started the police academy in July of 2009, and when I did that, I had, counted the cost. I've always told people to be in law enforcement, you need to do a gut check. It needs to come from the gut. It's got to be a job that you got to do, so that you know that you can check yourself and know that you're doing it for the right reasons. And I believe that I did that. I've done that all through my law enforcement career regularly. And that drive, the reason why I wanted to do that in my community is reason enough, or has been reason enough, that I said, I'm willing to put my life on the line to do that. And my friends and my family, the support network that I have around me, they were okay and willing to support that. Because at the end of the day, we all believe that being in law enforcement, doing that job, the value of having that in society as a fabric of a community is worth it. And so that has never been in question. It still isn't in question, that I think we need good cops who understand that they are willing to risk themselves and to have a support network of people who recognize that and support them in that. And I've always had that. But seeing what happened in Atlanta, just as an example, it's bigger than that, but seeing that officers who simply did their job and did what they were trained to do could be literally railroaded without due process, thrown under the bus by their department, by their city, all of that stuff made me realize that now I'm not just being asked to sacrifice my life, and my family's not just being asked to sacrifice my life potentially for a bigger vision of why law enforcement is important and for the community, for others. Now I am being asked to sacrifice the financial future and well-being of my family in case I was thrown under the bus or criminally charged or ended up, getting sold up the river for simply doing my job. So while my family has been, and I have been, okay with putting my life on the line, I am not okay with the reverse of me putting all of them on the line and risking everything that we've built as a family to get tossed away simply because of a political motivation of somebody that I have nothing to do with in life. It's not something I'm willing to do. Going back to the whole weirdness of social media and people not knowing everything that I post, in 2017, I stepped away from full-time police work and went part-time. So that is factoring into this decision, is to say, is the risk of losing everything that I've worked hard for in life, not just for me, for my family, for my grandkids, for the future of my family, is a part-time effort at this worth the exchange of that risk? And I just came to a point where I said, I had to be honest with myself and go, no. Even though I love putting on the uniform and going out and doing this job, at this point, it is simply not worth that risk. I can put myself out there, but I'm not gonna put them out there anymore. Not for that. If you hear any other reason or assume any other reason, you're wrong. So here's a few of those that are going around or people have messaged me about that I'll go through real quick. One, that I couldn't handle it anymore. Okay. Two, that I actually am disgusted with the current state of police officers and that I don't want to be associated with cops anymore. Completely false. 100% false. I want to be a stronger advocate now more than ever for law enforcement officers. So no, not the case. That I have become too stressed and angry I'm pretty chill. I'm not stressed out about it. I feel good about my decision. Again, it came down to like a risk versus reward decision for where I am at in my life and where I intend to go with my life, the direction and the story that I'm trying to write for myself and my family, in conjunction with the fact that I was working part-time. So no, that's not the reasoning behind it. The reason is my own personal decision about risk and reward in my context. I've also gotten some feedback from people that feel like I'm turning my back on fellow officers by stepping away from an active law enforcement career. And to that, I it's a bummer that people would think that about me, especially if you know me, which most of you do not. But yeah, that's a bummer. It's not accurate at all. And again, I hope to be a stronger advocate now than ever before for law enforcement, which takes us into what is the future of Mike the Cop. Well, first, my social media is not going anywhere. I'm still keeping the name. I worked very hard for that. It's just is what it is. I'm just gonna keep going by the name, and I'll put in the bio, try to be as clear as possible that I'm not active or whatever, but it's here to stay, and I plan to continue to grow and engage on social media in ways that both encourage cops and educate non-cops in engaging ways. And that's the goal, always been, and that hasn't changed. The work myself and others have done with humanizing the badge and the call for backup campaign, that is going to continue. It's going to continue to grow. It might look a little bit different, but we are doubling down on supporting the men and women in law enforcement and showing that they are people and defending them and their amazing work in their communities, highlighting that and encouraging even more of it. So not going anywhere there either. Gonna get even better. And I'm going to be launching a podcast where cop meets culture. Still working on some details, but it's gonna be awesome. I hope you think so. And that is going to open the doors for hopefully a lot more conversations with other influential people and bringing that to the forefront of people's minds and doing something in the law enforcement and culture space that has never been done before. And I hope that leads to more speaking and more communicating with people in the community and in the law enforcement world. All of that. So lots to come, guys. I'm not going anywhere. I'm just stepping back from active law enforcement service where I'm at right here. And I told you why. I told you not why. And I told you where I'm going. So hopefully you stick with me, and great things are to come for all of us.